It's the last Thursday of the month of June in the year 2025. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the news app here at Adesawe Kanda. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana and on DSTV's channel 279. My name is George Quinn. Top of the stories this hour. Government dismisses Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu's assertion of political agenda to remove her, insisting she would not resign. And Parliament passes Public Holidays Bill making July 1 a public holiday. Also coming up this morning, growing concern among students and the general public following a resurgence of COVID-19 cases on the University of Ghana campus. Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes. If you spend your time with me, you can also get interactive with us. We are live on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana. Now, suspended Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Gertrude Tokonu, has filed fresh court processes to seek a review at the High Court to halt ongoing processes to remove her from office. She announced the decision while breaking her silence for the first time, insisting she would not resign from her position as Chief Justice. Maona Egbata reports.
1 hour as suspended Chief Justice Her Ladyship Gertrude Tokonu mounted this podium to address Ghanaians over ongoing processes she is a part of under Article 146 seeking her removal. She would cite 4 reasons as basis for her decision to come public. The first, the historic nature of the process. The second, that she was doing this because the ripple effect from the course of action currently being taken will affect not just herself, but justices of the Supreme Court and all other heads of constitutionally mandated bodies. The third, that there are violations currently being experienced even as that 5-member committee continues its hearing. The last, questions and concerns raised as to why she would not resign.
Let me assure everybody that I am not seeking to cling to a title or a position. The situation I have been confronted with has shown me a model of injustice that I would never have thought possible if I had not been exposed to it. Resigning or retiring while Article 146 proceedings are being conducted to remove a judge is not an option any judge or public official can even have.
In this emotional address to Ghanaians, Gertrude Tokonu will take time to detail the petitions and explain why she believes they hold no merit and why she also argues they must be opened up to the public for them to be carried along to know indeed they hold no merit.
I cannot share the burden of those involved in designing and implementing this enterprise of pretending to use Article 146 proceedings to remove a Chief Justice through unknown and unlawful means by keeping quiet about the violations of law and due process. Neither can I make anyone's burden lighter by resigning or retiring, instead of proving that not even one of these wild claims in a collection of petitions is even remotely true or meets the standard required for removing a judge.
Upon that basis, she's instructed her lawyers to file processes for a review of the decision by the Supreme Court to set aside or throw out her injunction application seeking to halt the ongoing processes by that 5-member committee.
It is this total absence of compliance with all known rules of fair hearing that has caused my lawyers to file application for judicial review in the High Court to declare all the proceedings void.
She makes the argument lastly that the choice of location, Edu Lodge, amongst many other things, reaffirms her belief that all of the processes currently ongoing is deliberate to break her and to see to her removal as Chief Justice.
The Edu Lodge facility that the hearings are being conducted in featured very prominently in the planning of the murder of judges on June 30th, 1981. And this can be read about in the special investigative report on that terrible event in our nation's history. It will be recalled that there was a Major Samakwa, a military officer who was killed with the 3 High Court justices, who was the Director of Human Resource of GEHOC. He was my uncle and my guardian when I entered the University of Ghana in September 1980. I was also living with him at the time he was abducted and murdered. Was Edu Lodge chosen for my inquiry to make me feel insecure? I think so.
Mawena Igbeta, TV3 News, the Palms by Eagle.
Well, in more news this morning, government has vehemently denied any grand scheme to oust the embattled Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu, and spokesperson of government communication, Phyllis Kwachiofosu, insists that the President, Mahama, has followed due process as stipulated in Article 146 of the Constitution. Take a listen. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching the morning news here on TV3, the first bulletin of the day, and let's bring you that story.
She walked into the press conference in the company of the husband with no legal representation. She was clear in her mind. Government was out to get her ousted. Resolved, she rejects suggestions to resign or give up in her fight. At a press briefing, government spokesperson Phyllis Kwachiofosu said there's been no breach of the Constitution in the procedure so far and described the Chief Justice's allegations as unfounded.
Every single public official, from the President to the Speaker to the Chief Justice to Supreme Court judges to ministers to all public office holders, are bound by the provisions of Ghanaian law. Indeed, it was the former Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd, who once said that when you join the game, you play by the rules. So no public official is allowed to raise him or herself above the laws of Ghana. It does not matter how sensitive your position is. Once Ghanaian law dictates that certain processes be undertaken in respect of some alleged misconduct, the rules must come to play.
The embattled Chief Justice emotionally recalled the killing of some state justices at the venue of her inquiry. Government defended the location, maintaining its compliance to secrecy and constitutional mandate.
That the attempts to link dastardly killings of some Supreme Court judges and a military officer to this case are most disingenuous. It's regrettable and should not find space in this sort of discourse. The committee requested that they needed facilities of a certain house their activities, and that would facilitate a smooth running of the proceedings. And that facility was available. It is equipped with modern amenities that will facilitate the work of the committee.
The Chief Justice has served notice of a judicial review. Government welcomes the move.
She is entitled to do so, and we encourage her to avail herself of any opportunity there is to vindicate her rights.
Well, you know the position of the embattled Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu and the reaction coming from the presidency. But let's know what you also make of this. We are active on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Engage us with your opinions, observations, and we'll surely read them and share them to the rest of the world. And our Parliament has passed the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill 2025 to make major changes in Ghana's holidays calendar. The new legislation will make July 1 a statutory public holiday and restore the controversial Founders' Day to September 21. Christian Yale reports that an additional holiday will be established for Muslims.
After long hours of debate and heated exchanges, Parliament has passed the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill 2025 to make changes to Ghana's holiday structure. According to the Defense and Interior Committee's report, the new move is part of effort to ensure that the holidays are inclusive, historically accurate, and reflect productivity across the country. As part of the new law, July 1st will now be recognized as a public holiday as the Republic Day. Government has also removed August 4th from the holiday structure and has now renamed September 21st from Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day to Founders Day.
We know that there's no way you can say you go to a fight and you say you carry the fight alone. You may have other commanders, other generals, but the main person who leads you usually will take the credit for all of you. Ghanaians are unanimous around the 21st September, which is the birthday of Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
This process was, however, not without debate, as the minority insists the government has decided to conveniently pursue amending holidays instead of fulfilling their campaign promises on urgent matters such as LGBTQ+ activities, as well as illegal mining and even their flagship project of the 24-hour economy policy.
That is why I'm saying that they've made promises on other bills they consider urgent. And I am wondering why those have not been prioritized. Where is the bill on 24-hour economy? The Minister of Interior has not come here with a bill to introduce reforms under the various agencies under his ministry. Or he comes under certificate of agency, holiday. Stay at home, don't go to work. This is the agency.
As part of the new law, government is seeking to introduce an extra holiday for Muslims named as Shak Day, which will be observed a day after Eid al-Fitr.
Yes, Dr. Nkrumah played his role. Every Ghanaian is so grateful. And so are men like Akwaje, J.B. Dankwa, Oforiata, and the rest. They also played a role. Are we going to come back to this chamber when the tables turn to change the day again?
The law provides that when a holiday falls on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday, the president may use an executive instrument to move that holiday to the Friday of the same week.
If a holiday falls in the middle of the week, that is Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, it should be observed on a Friday. If it falls on Saturday and Sunday, it should be observed on Monday, so that there will be some certainty, and that gives us longevity in the weekend. That will enhance our tourism industry and the creative arts.
Once assented into law by the president, Ghana will have 14 recognized public holidays with only one commemorative day. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament.
Let's still stay in Parliament as the Committee on Human Rights has charged the Police Service and the Attorney General and Minister for Justice to expedite action and prosecute persons involved in the abuse of a 12-year-old boy who was alleged to have stolen money. Chairman of the committee, Ernest Yao Enim, in an interview with TV3, condemned the act and promised to monitor developments to its logical conclusion. Take a listen.
The 12-year-old boy in the Western region was hanged and subjected to severe beatings for an alleged crime of theft. This Parliament's Committee on Human Rights has condemned, with the chairman Ernest Yao Enim calling for the need to protect the rights of children.
Article 28 talks about the rights of children, and you go further to 28.3, where it talks about a child shall not be subjected to any inhumane treatment, that is punishment, that is cruel and all that. And for such a young boy, irrespective of the crime that he committed, this is not the right way to punish a young boy who falls under the age of 18. The kind of torture this young boy went through, you could see from the video, he was weeping and crying, and you could see adults watching on and just looking on while this boy was being subjected to this inhumane punishment.
He said the inhumane act must not be allowed to go free.
We have called on the Ghana Police Service to expedite action on this case, on the arrest of these two kids, and we are also calling on the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice to also expedite action. let's make sure these two adults are prosecuted. The laws of Ghana works.
Meanwhile, the committee has been discussing child rights issues at a 2-day workshop.
We'll come up with an action plan on what Ghana should be able to do in the implementation of all the recommendations that were supported during the last United Nations Human Rights Council meeting. It was at that level that Ghana supported over 265 recommendations.
Chief of Social Policy at UNICEF, Paulina Savilani, said there is a pushback of children's rights due to economic hardships, climate change and poverty.
It would be really further work to be done to ensure that maternal and child mortality is really eradicated. Ghana has done really good improvement in access to education, but the learning is still a challenge. So it really is something that we should work together with the Ministry of Education, also to ensure that, for example, the pre-primary and primary school are also prioritized.
She lamented 94% of Ghanaian children experience some form of violence, either physical, emotional or psychological, and urged MPs to track how public funds are spent to ensure better results for children. The First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Bernard Ahiafo, said Parliament has made efforts through some of its policies and activities in promoting human rights and will continue to monitor to ensure persons' rights are respected.
The Parliament of Ghana has made meaningful efforts to support this process by strengthening its work on human rights and justice through both legislative and oversight functions. These efforts are reflected in a range of practical strategies.
Well, away from Parliament, there's growing concern among students and the general public following a resurgence of COVID-19 cases at the University of Ghana campus. The university's Health Services Directorate has confirmed several suspected and confirmed cases, prompting calls for urgent containment. While health authorities are urging calm, they advise strict adherence to safety protocols. Deborah Abba-Mensah has more in this report.
It's back in the headlines, COVID-19, and this time the spotlight is on Ghana's premier university. On the campus of the University of Ghana, worry is creeping in. Students and the public are raising red flags over what they describe as a concerning resurgence of the coronavirus, with confirmed and suspected cases reported in recent days.
I hope it's nothing serious. I hope they can get it solved quick because I don't want to go back into quarantine.
When COVID came, you see how we were restricted on certain activities and the other hand. So that is my only concern right now. So the issue is that if it comes out that what they are saying is very true and it is rampant on campus, all activities are going to be held, like put on hold and other stuff.
We don't know what to do currently. We are just hoping to see how things are going to be done about it. Yes, that's what we say.
The Health Services Directorate of the university has issued a statement confirming the resurgence. In response, university authorities are urging all students, staff and visitors to remain vigilant and strictly observe preventive measures including regular hand washing, mask wearing in crowded spaces, and avoiding unnecessary gatherings. In the meantime, all communication regarding the situation has been directed to the Greater Accra Regional Health Directorate. Meanwhile, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health is asking the public not to panic. The committee says the situation does not yet warrant alarm, but advises citizens to return to basic COVID-19 safety practices.
I'm not surprised at all at it. I don't think COVID ever left. COVID is with us. COVID became, many people got used to it. What was circulating were mild forms and therefore perhaps was not having any clinical effects. But remember, there's still that section of the population that is at risk. Rather than panicking and being afraid, we should know that we beat it with some protocols. And if we adhere to the same protocols, whenever it comes up, we will beat it again.
The university community is hoping for swift action and transparency to prevent a potential outbreak. For many, the fear is not just about health, it's about the possible disruption to academic life.
I'm really concerned because Corona coming back again, it's like, wow, are we also going to get infected? what is the school doing about it? Are the people quarantined or something? Yeah, I've been thinking about it lately, actually. And I just hope that they are putting in measures that will help us.
We are afraid of lockdown. We just came to level 100, and when lockdown comes, we are going to stay back home, and we won't get anything to learn. That's why we are concerned about it. So the institution needs to do something about it.
For now, the University of Ghana remains open, but how it responds to this resurgence may determine whether classrooms will remain active or not.
And our President John Dramani Mahama has asked world leaders to consider the cost of B-2 bombers recently used in attacking nuclear plants in Iran and rather invest in saving children through immunization. Speaking at the Global Health Summit and Prosperity Summit in Brussels, the president, who doubles as a Gavi Alliance ambassador, says $9 billion is required to tackle childhood killer diseases. He urges world leaders to either buy B-2 bombers or invest in Gavi to save 500 million children. Take a listen to the president.
In the interest of time, let me proceed on established protocol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for me, the issue of vaccines is deeply personal. And that is because when I was growing up, one of my younger brothers was affected by polio. He was crippled. He lived with the stigma of his disability for many years. And eventually he was driven into depression and became an alcoholic. And he died from alcohol poisoning. I'm here to look after the 2 children he left behind. And so I understand what life-saving vaccines are. The rest of us who grew up healthy and are here today were the lucky ones. And we grew up in a period where access to vaccines was close to zero in our part of Africa. Today, Gavi has changed all that and giving hope to millions of children. Across the world, many children are growing up to become responsible citizens of their communities because their lives were saved by Gavi's immunization. In Ghana, we're proud to be partners with Gavi, and I'm proud to say that in partnership with Gavi, Ghana has achieved 97% immunization coverage. But it means that another 3% is missing. And we're working hard to find those 65,000 children who are in remote areas that are difficult to reach. And I know that working with Gavi, we will be able to find those children and also give them the life-saving vaccines. Ghana is a lower middle income country, and so our partnership with Gavi is one of co-finance. And I'm proud to say that over the recent years, we've spent almost $67 million on vaccines in partnership with Gavi. One of my first decisions as president was to uncap our national health insurance. The previous government had put a cap on the statutory fund of the national health insurance. So excess funding above a certain percentage of the budget went back into the consolidated fund. By uncapping the national health insurance, we've been able to give the insurance fund more than 3.5 billion cedis more. And so this has enabled the health insurance fund that puts up the funding for our partnership with Gavi to be able to front load $20 million for our co-finance partnership with Gavi this year. So on behalf of the children, I want to say thank you to Gavi. We are hoping that we'll fast track our weaning of Gavi by 2030. We're supposed to go off Gavi funding by 2030. And it's my expectation that we'll work hard to be like Indonesia and in future become a donor country to Gavi.
Well, you can get more updates on this very summit when you log on to our website. We're also active on Facebook, TV3 Ghana, and just get updated on this very summit. currently taking place in Brussels. As part of its 60th anniversary celebrations, the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB, has chosen to partner with Media General, praising the media group's inconsistency, innovation, and commitment to impactful storytelling. The bank says the collaboration aligns with a renewed focus on excellence, digital transformation, and customer-centered service.
Marking 60 years of service, ADB is setting its sights on future with a strong promise of innovation, improved customer experience, and competitive performance. The bank's managing director says Media General was chosen as a strategic partner due to its bold shift from traditional to modern media, consistently delivering content that connects with Ghanaians. ADB is launching the new Service Excellence Charter to ensure every customer, both existing and potential, experience a clear difference in how the bank serves. Managing Director of ADB, Edward Atosapon, stated the relevance of this partnership.
Media General, because we looked at the various landscape, and in our thinking, they have the widest reach. They have all the platforms that we are looking for, whether it's English speaking, whether it's free speaking. They are on all the channels, whether it's digital, whether it's analog. So we thought that the right place to go is Media General. And more importantly, we are here because of their consistency in delivering programs and content that resonates with the people. I think that they've been courageous enough to shift from the old to the new, and they are doing excellently well. And I think the conviction with which they execute their programs are things that we associate with. That is why we think that the right place to be is Media General.
He also added that a key part of the bank's development is digital transformation, expanding ATMs, post terminals, and mobile banking platforms to meet the needs of today's fast-paced world.
We are guaranteeing them excellence. We have just launched our Service Excellence Charter to ensure that customers who walk into any ADB branch or are customers of ADB branch, whether existing or potential, see a difference in terms of service. We are also about launching our digital transformation program. That is basically to move the bank from the brick and mortar into their palm, so that on your mobile phone you can be able to do whatever you want to do on your mobile phone. We are expanding our digital reach, so our ATMs, our point of sales channels, and all of that are being expanded. We are changing our culture in terms of the way we do things, moving from a typical agric-oriented bank to a truly universal bank.
With its goal of becoming one of Ghana's top 3 banks in the next 3 years, ADB is inviting the public to rediscover the bank, promising to exceed expectations and deliver lasting value.
Well, and that's how we end the morning news. For more news updates, you would want to log on to our website, it's 3news.com. Thanks for watching. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Roland is looking dapper already. He'll join you after the break. Good morning.